Disappear there. Oh, do we have someone else besides me on my other account? Nope, they left. Talk about being alone in live land. Well, maybe someone will come in and be interested. Just going to keep going. Hand building some spoons. Thought I would just go live rather than make a video and edit it. Good morning. So loud out here. Everyone decides to make noise when I come out on my patio to work. This is my studio, so I just have to deal with all the noise around me. Okay, so I shaped the head of my spoon, so now I'm just working on the handle. Yesterday, I was on some lives, not on here, but on TikTok, and I created some ceramic spoons out of stoneware clay. So I'm just continuing that today, but I thought I would come on YouTube instead of TikTok and see how that goes. I definitely get more people that join on TikTok, but I've never been live on YouTube before. I don't really have like a huge sub base on here, so that's okay. I kind of like it that way because I'm not locked into anything or any schedules. If I look over here, it's because I'm looking at my iPad, because when I have my readers on, I just can't see the screen in front of me in case there's any questions. I do have some tutorials on my YouTube on how to hand build spoons, ceramic coffee scoops. Those are pretty big sellers for me on my Etsy and personal website, vanillavinepottery.com. I throw pottery on my wheel. I have a little mini wheel. I have some tutorials on throwing pottery on a mini wheel, but I did get a new mini wheel that is a little better than the first one that I purchased. The one on Amazon that I purchased works fine, but the torque isn't as good on the small ceramics wheel, which is what the second tiny wheel that I purchased from Small Ceramics in the UK. I think I paid around $180 for that little wheel, and the torque on it is amazing. So I still use them both. It just depends on what I'm making or doing. Plus, I also have a regular portable pottery wheel that I bring out to my patio from the garage. This clay is just a little stiff. I need it to be a little more workable. So back in the fall, I made like some pumpkin and apple spoons. These were made a little different because I used a cutout for the pumpkin part, and then I extruded the handle out of a clay extruder and twisted it and attached it separately. With these, I'm just making like kind of like pinch pots, and it's all one. So I usually work on the head of the spoon first and then pull the handle down to where I want it, get it to how I want, and then I'll just kind of go back and reshape the spoon head if I need to, and just kind of clean it up. And sometimes I'll attach like a little, like on here I attached like a little rose just to make it more feminine, more dainty, give it some visual interest. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to just throw them out there. I live in South Florida, so I could pretty much come out here as long as the weather is good and work anytime I want. So I appreciate you coming in to check out to see what I'm doing. I usually just make tutorials or videos and just edit them and post them. But today I'm like, it's beautiful out, go outside, why not go live? I've never done a live before. And I noticed, I'm like, hey, I didn't even know that I could go live on here. So let's do it. Let's see if it brings me some more subscribers. If it does, great. If it doesn't, I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Nothing lost. So these smaller spoons are really good for like tea or coffee, espresso. I think I've been hand building spoons. I know it's been at least 2.5 years, maybe 3. I don't know, time goes so fast, I can't keep track. I did like hydrate my clay a little before I started my live, but it still seems like it's needed a little more hydration. It's a little hard to work with, but this is just called pulling a handle. It's almost just kind of go in like a milking cow format. I don't really know what to call it. So you're just wetting, stretching, and pulling the clay. Kind of keeps it more uniform, even. It's a little thicker at the bottom, but I'll try and even that out a little bit. Slippery little bugger. If you've ever went live before on YouTube, you can know it could be really uncomfortable. I don't know who you're talking to, like you want to entertain, but you also don't want to talk too much. So that's why if you have any questions, I would like if you want to ask them, because when people interact, it just makes it a little more interesting. I've been doing pottery since 2018. It's more like a little hobby with like a small side business, because I do manage to sell my pieces on Etsy and my own personal website. But because I have so many hobbies, like I have two YouTube channels. I have TikTok, Instagram. I have Facebook, but that's just personal stuff. I don't really get on Facebook too much. Even my Instagram for Vanilla Vine Pottery, I kind of pay more attention to TikTok and YouTube. And then I have a recipe YouTube channel and a recipe blog that I write for, as well as my pottery blog that I write for. And I crochet, and now I'm entertaining the thought of teaching myself knitting. I was going to start some crochet tutorials on here as well. I do them, I kind of made, somehow my TikTok turned into a pottery crochet page, and I'm fine with that because that's what I do and that's what I like to do. So, all right, my spoon handle here is getting a little longer. Show you that. Try to have it evened out, but I would still like it a little longer than what it is. I throw on my wheel too. But to be honest, I feel like I'm better at hand building. Like this is more like my forte, my calling, I feel like. To be honest, it's still a little hard for me to pull a wall on the big wheel. I could do it, but it's better to have like fresh clay if you're throwing on the wheel and your clay is hydrated, wedged correctly. It's not too dry, not too wet. Centered correctly as well. It took me a long time to learn centering, a long time. Sometimes I still struggle with it if my clay, this is recycled clay. So if I mess this spoon up, I could just roll it into a ball and put it aside, like rehydrate it with some water, roll it up, wedge it, use it again. When I first started pottery, I didn't even know that you could recycle your clay, and whatever slip I got when I was throwing, I would just put into a bucket and then I would just throw it out in the backyard. Then I realized wait a second, I'm throwing away money. I could be using this for something else. So I try and save my recycled clay for hand building and making my spoons. Okay, no questions, but you guys, all two of you are sticking. I know it says 3, but I'm on my other account, so I could look over here and read any messages if I need to. I assume I could respond as well, but it's just easier to talk than type, right? I don't know if you guys follow me already, but I would appreciate if you gave me a follow. If you want, no pressure. I feel like this is still a little too thick here. So if my clay starts cracking a little, I just wet it and kind of smooth it over. I feel like this is great in here, a little too thick. The problem is that I tried to get my pieces as perfect as I can, and they're not supposed to be perfect. It's better when they have some imperfections because kind of showing the personality of the artist or person who created it. So I kind of like that about hand-built pottery. It's been a while since I hand-built some spoons like this. These ones I pretty much used a little cookie cutter and then kind of shape them, put some like lines for the pumpkins. But it's been a while since, and these are in two pieces. This is one piece. So it's been a while since I've made some spoons just like this. And these, the very first time that I started creating spoons like this, I made just all in one piece like I'm doing now. And I have to say, when I listed those once I was able to rank in Etsy, they started selling, and I sold all of them. And I think there's one that didn't sell and I still have it, but people still go to that on Etsy. They still go to that listing and they mark it and they favorite it. And I'm like, well, maybe I need to make more spoons like that. It's a sign. You give the people what they want. So I usually let these spoons dry for about a week. Sometimes they will crack. These ones that I made yesterday was the same type of clay. So it's still not completely dry. So you could still come in and, like, if there's any cracks, kind of clean this up. So you can see, you could still wet it and clean it up. But I usually let these dry for 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the weather here, what I'm doing. I have my own kiln in the garage. I believe I bought that back in, I think it was 2021. Yeah, it'll be three years this spring. I think I got it like in March or April of 2021. And it's a Scott. It's been so long since I looked at what it was. I think it's at M181 or something like that. It's electric. It's electric. And I just keep it in my garage. So when I run it, I just kind of open the garage door a little bit. I make sure that I'm going to be home for the day. A bisque fire. So once these are dry, they'll go into a bisque fire. And a bisque fire for me, it takes about 14 hours. And these are stoneware, so these will but a bisque fire and an earthenware pretty much get bisque fired at the same temperature. So then once they're bisque fired, you glaze and then you refire them at a higher temperature if it is a stoneware clay, which is what this is. So there's different types of clay you could work with. There's porcelain, earthenware. I do make spoons in earthenware just because they're lighter. However, they are more fragile. But I just feel like the underglaze colors pop on the earthenware a little better. And then I designed myself you'll have to go to my videos and look because I did do a video on it. I put holes in my spoons and then I hang them on S-hooks, high fire wire, and I designed a spoon stand for the kiln, like some kiln furniture, so I could hang them. And that way I'm able to pretty much glaze the whole spoon. I still put my spoons on stilts in the kiln, but the wire, so a stilt kind of just holds up your piece and supports it, but it's high fire wire as well, but the wire tends to dig into the glaze and leaves like a little sharp edge, so I do have to like get a rotary tool and grind those down. So there's like, it will leave like some little imperfections on the back, that's why I like to hang my spoons. But if they're too heavy, sometimes the wire will bend even though it's high fire. So I did have like the last time I did a load of spoons, like I had an incident in the kiln where some of the spoons fell off the wires. I did have some cookie, what I call cookies. They're just like bisque fired pieces of like a flat disc that I put under in case any glaze drips or anything like that to protect my shelves. But one fell, it fell right onto the shelf, so I still have to, I have a mess to clean up in my kiln. It's not too bad though. I just got to scrape it off and re-protect, re-protect the shelves with some kiln wash. All right, I think this spoon is, I think I'm happy with it. So I'm just gonna like shape it out a little more. But as far as the handle size, so again, these are good for like stirring your coffee, your tea, like little dessert spoons. Sometimes I make really skinny, longer spoons that are for like drink, like bar cocktail spoons as well. And those are a nice conversation piece. And sometimes people just get them for decoration on their coffee bars or drink bars. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Out of all the people in live land, you guys chose to come here, so I'm very appreciative of that. If this is something that you like, I appreciate that you give a follow and then subscribe, and you can get notified when I do new videos. Obviously, you found me today on my live, so I don't know if any of you are already subscribers. I don't know how that works because I've never gone live before. Sometimes I talk too much and reveal too much information, and then nobody asks any questions, and I kind of like it when you all ask questions and interact. I kind of just want to see how this lays when I put it down, because sometimes when you do that, because when clay dries, it shrinks. So sometimes it will like pool, or sometimes the handle will get a little twisted, because clay has memory. If you guys don't follow me on TikTok, you could find me on TikTok at Vanilla Vine Pottery. I go live there a lot more often, but I was live yesterday and I was actually throwing on my tiny pottery wheel and made like some little vases. Kind of just made 4 items yesterday. I made like a little bowl and just this other little vase. I give these little pieces away when somebody orders something, just as a thank you, because I feel like it's a nice gesture to let someone know that you appreciate their order and for supporting your small business. Okay, I think I'm going to try working on a bigger spoon now. This one's pretty good, but I do need to put like my hole in it. In order to put my hole in, you want like a good, healthy, like thick handle to do this, because you're doing it more at the top, and then it that could be like a weak area. So you want to make sure you have enough clay that you could go in there. I still kind of support here, so I just like go down from the top a little bit. It does start to crack sometimes. Could easily go back in and fix that. So I just kind of gingerly still not through yet. It's pretty thick. Okay, here we go. You get it? Okay, so there's the little hole. I don't know if you could see it, like right here. And then that's just what I hang the spoon on in the kiln. And it's nice to tie, like if someone buys one, like I'll tie a little piece of twine or string around it, and just in case they want to hang it somewhere, just makes it look nice. Okay, so we'll call this one done, so we'll just set it here to dry. I'll start working on the next one. Maybe not be so ginger with this one. Let's see. Hair constantly falling. Okay, so I do start out with like a ball, but then I just kind of roll it, and my fingers are on my board and canvas here. And then I just kind of like take the tip of the top and like make a mushroom, which will end up being the head of the spoon. And then the thicker bottom part will be the handle that you just, like, for instance, there that you saw me pull. Just try and keep it uniform, as uniform as possible. So this is how I do it. I'm sure everyone does it like a little different. This is going to be a big hefty spoon, but I'm going to do it. So then I just kind of like take my fingers and just kind of squeeze there to get like the top of the spoon. Kind of looks like a mushroom shape. I do like it when it's more round. Sometimes I'll just take my fingers, go in and like smooth the clay over if it's like if there's any cracks or lines. How dare they make noise when I'm outside? I actually started, my interest in pottery came from when I went to a trip to Cabo in 2018, like in late summer. And I was just like enamored with all the pottery that they would serve your food on, and like hand-built pottery. And I came back and like I was like, and any shop that you went to in there too, you know, it was just like those really bright like molcajetes, you know, like salsa dishes. And because I'm a food blogger, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get a couple of these pieces and bring them back with me and just use them like in my for food props photography. And I did that. And if if you know anything about food blogging or have ever done recipe blogs, or it gets expensive because you got to constantly change up, your props, you got to make the food pop on the plate, basically. So your pictures depend a lot on, I guess what I'm saying is that the food you make depends on how pretty you make it in the pictures. So it gets expensive to keep buying props. And I was like, you know what? I'm so fascinated with pottery. And I would look and I would be like, you know what? I can make this. I could do this myself. So that's kind of what made me get into pottery. I was just kind of tired and worn down at my job as well. Um, I was working at a law firm as a legal nurse consultant. I'm a registered nurse. And I'd worked there like 11 years, and I was just like, I was just done. I was like 50, 51 years old, and I was like, I need a change. I need to do something different. So on a whim, I purchased my portable pottery wheel. Took a couple classes here in Fort Lauderdale at a local pottery studio. Um, one of the classes was like like an 8-week course that I took for like $350, and then I would just come home and practice on my wheel, and I pretty much am self-taught aside from that class. Self-taught, self-directed. And if YouTube, you could pretty much learn anything on here. So that's pretty much how I got into pottery. Okay, so you can see what I did here. I kind of come in there with my finger or my thumb and just press down the center. And that's where I start working the head of my spoon. It always looks like a big fat thumb to me. So this spoon is definitely going to be a little bigger than the other one. My nails always get in the way. It's not good to hand build pottery with nails or throw pottery. I do need a trim. And if my clay starts to crack, I just kind of wet it a little bit and smooth over it. And then I just start working the tip of like the head of the spoon. Thank you for the like, whoever did that. I appreciate it. Still no questions. Either you guys just don't give a darn, or I explain things well. Not sure which it is. A few years back, I made a set of like sunflowers. They were so pretty. I made like a large, medium, and small, and then I did these spoons here with a little rose emblem. I did like a little sunflower in here, and I attached it and like painted it like a sunflower. And they were like all white except for the sunflower part. And I still have the large one for sale, but some lady bought like the medium and small size one. They're so cute. So I'm going to see if I could recreate that. But basically, I kind of let the clay dictate what it wants to become. I try not to set out with anything in mind. But somehow I was able to make 3 of those spoons in small, medium, large that were, just by hand. They were pretty similar. And they looked like a set. The more you do this, though, the better you get. But it's been a while since I've hand-built spoons like this. If I were to do this, like yesterday I did it, and then by the second one I was getting a little faster. This clay is a little stiff. It's not as hydrated, so it takes a little longer to work. Or maybe I'm just too ginger sometimes because I think I'm going to ruin it. It's no big deal if you ruin it. You just start a new one. Just ball it up, put it aside, rehydrate it, re-wedge it, and use it again. kind of like to use my finger too to like compress down the clay, make it even. It's starting to crack a little bit. It's getting dry, so I'll just rehydrate it a little, smooth out those cracks. After you do this a few times, you just get a feel for it, and it's like muscle memory. I'll pretty much be building these all day, so like by tomorrow, I'll probably whip some of these up really quickly because, again, it's just like, okay, now I got the feel for it again. It's back. And if I'm out here just by myself, I mean, I'm on camera now, so I'm trying to be a little more ginger. I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't know why. I don't know what the big deal is. But if I'm just out here by myself, I just get in my zone and I just like take off and get like really creative. I'm trying to work this one a little faster because I know y'all have stuff to do. Just try and make sure that this is always like smooth. Like around the part that's like gonna be in your mouth because you don't want any sharp edges when you're putting something like this in your mouth, like eating some soup and cut up your lips. That's not good. Okay, I feel like I have a nice shape for my spoon head, so I'm just gonna start working the handle. Probably end up like cutting some of this handle off because I feel like it's a little too thick. I should have used more at the tip of the spoon, but I'll know for next time when I want to make a bigger spoon. I do that to rehydrate it and just kind of keep it uniform. I need to get it longer so I like get it in my palms and roll it out. This is the part where like I'm ginger. Because I'm like, oh, I got this far. I don't want to ruin it now, but sometimes you need to be a little more rugged. And worst case scenario, you ball it up and redo it. It's really not that big of a deal. I like to keep the neck of my spoon like pretty thick and then come in and thin out the handle underneath the neck a little bit. Just makes it less likely to crack there. Pushing some of this thicker clay at the top to the bottom. And compressing it like this helps it to not crack when it dries. So I'm kind of compressing the clay in a downward motion. Gets rid of any air bubbles, cracks. Just come back. I think I'm going to come back in, hydrate this, and do like that downward milking cow motion. I hate it because it looks so weird, but sometimes it's the best remedy to stretch your clay out. It really does make it more even and compressed. Welcome to the live. Hand building some spoons. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Right now I'm just pulling my handle on the spoon. I want to do that right now. It's too slippery. I need to try my hand. Okay, let's try that again. Better, much better. So it's starting to take shape of a handle, but I still feel like it's too thick. So I'll roll it and then come back in and do this downward pulling motion by wetting the clay to help stretch it, compress it, and make it more even. And I just put a big gouge in there. You really shouldn't have nails when you're hand building or throwing pottery. I just slipped and put a little gouge in there, but no harm, no foul. It's fine. There's that slip again. I guess that's why they call it slip. It's starting to get too thin here, so I need to focus more on this bottom part. And then once it starts to get longer like this, it starts to hi Mom. I don't know why I can't see the chat on the side. Maybe it's just lagging. I feel like it might be lagging. I'll see. Yeah, I don't know why the messages, like I could see it there, but it didn't transfer over to the screen I'm watching over here, which is weird. I'm just going to do a test and see if I could. Oh, now I see where they're at. I'm looking in the wrong spot. Okay, now I can see what you said, Mom. You said, "Morning, my beautiful daughter. Have you any new crocheting projects?" Yeah, I'm making Cassie's purse. After I did the book bag, so I'm kind of working on that, and I'm going to teach myself to knit. I've already been watching some videos, so next time, like I'm at the store, I'm going to pick up some knitting needles and teach myself to knit something, like a sweater. I just always am into something. I'm making spoons today. I went live. We missed you on TikTok yesterday. Kira was there, Darian was there, all at different times. My boss from work came in to my live with her parents, because her parents always come to the vitamin shop and hang out there when she's working. They're really nice. So her not Cassie, Eileen, Kira, Debbie, Darian, but you weren't there. Where were you? I'm in here as the kitchen prescription on my thing so I could watch here, so I sent a little chat back. So I could do that. It's the first time I've been live on YouTube. I've never gone live on here. I usually just make videos, edit them, and then post them. Just kind of testing the waters, see if I get any new subscribers this way. If I'm going to be out here working, I figure why not just go live. When I end this live, I think I'm going to get on TikTok and continue building some spoons on another live. I went live twice yesterday. I made some tiny pottery and a couple of spoons. I was looking in the wrong space for the chat. I was looking up, but it's below. I want to like twist this like an A-hole, because then the top will crack or whatever. It's starting to crack here now. It's too thick there. It's way too thick. I know you're here. I could see. I don't think it tells me who's in the room unless someone comments. Then I could see like the screen name. Sometimes I miss it because I'm just looking at what I'm making, and then I always try and check the comments to see. Someone else is here too. Besides just me and you, Mom. Thanks for joining. Just working on a spoon handle. Trying to roll it gently. So when you start spinning, it will like flare out the bottom part. So just kind of gently roll, stretch the clay. Goal is to like keep it even. Getting there. want to get it too thin in one area as opposed to another, because then that just leaves it open for cracks. Don't want that. The tip is a little more thicker than. Always move the clay around to another spot. If it's too thick, push it down or push it up. I feel like it's thinner here, so we'll push it down, press it together so it doesn't make a weak spot there. I think on this one, I am going to put a little sunflower on it. Kind of make it like some spoons that I made before that were really super cute. Someone bought 2 of the 3. I made a small, medium, and large. Did it again. Dug my nail in. I'll lay it down and see how it lays. This plant, yeah, it's real. It's not all one. This is, hang on. I've had this plant forever. It grows and I just cut it and then I make new plants out of it. Like I have a hanging basket over there. I planted, see this one is, so it kind of looks like it's all one, but it's really 2. But yes, it's real. I got my hands dirty. Yeah, I know you're here. Can't you hear me? I'm talking to you. Can you hear me? I have my external mic on. Are you able to hear? Is there sound to my video? Have I been talking the whole time without sound? Put a comment if you could hear me, Mom. Anyone, well, it's just me and you, so put a comment Say yes, I could hear you, if you could hear me. So I don't know why you would ask if I knew you were here. I was talking directly to you. Thank you. Mom, what are you doing? I've been talking to you almost the whole time, and you're like, do you know I'm here? Do you know I'm here? Oh, love you, Mom. Thanks for your support. No one's going to love you more than your mother. Or dad, either parent. Good parents will always have your back and discipline you when you're wrong. Okay, so I feel like, I probably could make the handle a little longer, but I'm not really sure I want to. Kind of clean up the spoon pad a little bit. I'll probably cut this off to even it out. Not that it matters. I like to have a little imperfection in my spoons. So you can see the personality that a real person made it. You might have your volume turned down. Maybe that's why you can't hear me or think that I don't know that you're here. So after I finish up this live today, I think I'll recharge. Rustic. Yes, that's a good one, Katie. Oh, that's cool. So you make spoons too? Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I use my spoons. I use them for serving. I stir my coffee with them. I make seasonal spoons around the holidays. This was in the fall. The funny thing is I never listed these spoons. I gave some to my daughter-in-law to sell at her nail salon, and she did sell a couple for me. But I don't know why I make stuff and then I don't list it. And then I wonder why, I have to still call this a hobby. Because when I list it, I usually sell it. It's just a PIA to do listings on Etsy and my website. It's just a lot of writing, a lot of photographing, editing. It's a process. Nothing special, but it's a process. You've got to make sure you have your SEO, all that stuff. Oh, okay. So you already follow me or know of me. I appreciate that. They're fun to make. If you have anxiety ever, or just it's a relaxing thing to do. I just come out here and get in my zone and I make my spoons. I was thinking about just doing a regular video today and then editing it, but it takes so long to edit. And I'm like, you know what? I've never gone live on YouTube, and I didn't even know I was able to go live. And I was just kind of looking around the app, and I opened up to yesterday to post a video that I did because I was live on TikTok. And I'm like, I saw the live button, and I'm like, Wait a second. I could go live here? Hold up. I'm going to try it. Really didn't expect much. I mean, I don't care. There's a few people in here. When I started out, I was just talking to myself. I do that normally anyway. Oh, that's fine. All right. I think I got the shape of how I want this, pretty much. This little section right here is bothering me, and I keep gouging my nail in, but I could just smooth that out. Both. I could smooth that part and this part. That little indentation there where it was like kind of like stretched together. It's bothering me. Thank you, me too. It's always hard to go live. It's hard to talk to a camera, even if you're editing, let alone going live. Getting more used to it. Have to know how to be able to talk to an audience. Not always good at that. A lot of people on TikTok will like put music in their background, but that is like, I would never like be in someone's live and be like, you're not supposed to have that music on. That's against the rules. It's not for me to say that. You're going to find out sooner or later. Maybe not, but maybe you will, but I'm not risking that. It took me a really long time to build up my audience to even get to be able to go on TikTok. You need 1,000 people. So it took me like 2 years, maybe a little more, to get 1,000 subs to even do that. So yeah, why would I screw that up? So I like it when people interact, like you, Katie, or you're interacting, making statements, asking questions. I feel like it makes the live more interesting, and people will stay longer if there's more going on in the live. I'm never offended if someone leaves. I'm not for everyone. Sometimes I get on my own nerves. But I think when I'm done with this live today, I'm gonna go back to TikTok and go live and continue building spoons, because I'm just out here building spoons anyway. So why not build up your audience or give people a chance to see what you're doing if you're just sitting out here alone anyway. It does not take me as long though when I'm just doing it myself as opposed to being on a live, because you stop, you talk to people, you want to make sure that you're not making a lot of mistakes. But if you're just by yourself, you don't care. You screw up, you just ball it up and start over. Oh, so you're glazing. Ugh, glazing. The worst. It's one of my least favorite activities in pottery and ceramics is the glazing part. Very essential, but not so fun. I'm happier with dipping, but I've never bought like I'll dip it in like my little bottles of glaze. But I would love just to have like a bucket of glaze, but it limits you to, then you have this big arse bucket of glaze and you have to dip all your pieces pretty much the same. And I already struggle with space where I live and the garage. My partner, my boyfriend, and I share the garage. So my kiln is in the garage. His tools are in the garage. Like, we live in Florida, so no basement. So everything we own literally is, everything goes to the garage to die. And then when I got my kiln, I needed to start storing my pottery pieces and my clay. So I went out there, I rearranged the whole garage, I cleaned it up, I got rid of some stuff. So that was good in that aspect, but we still struggle between the two of us, because he's like, hey, you're kind of in my space. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, we both live here, so I can't go upstairs and make the First of all, I don't want the dust in my house. I can't go upstairs and make a pottery studio in the spare bedroom. One of these days, we'll move from here and maybe I'll have a little pottery shed studio in the backyard. I would love that. Lazy equals stress. Yes, it does. All right, so on this spoon, I am going to, I feel like I have that where I want it. Let me do a little more shaping, but because I'm live, we don't have all day, right? So I'm just gonna tear off a little piece of this clay and make a little sunflower. So I'm feeling a sunflower on this one. If I wet that, it's gonna stick in there. It's not a good idea. Okay, which one is my sunflower? I feel like it's this one. It looks more sunflowery. So I just stick it in a mold, peel it out, and then I just like cut around it and then attach it. If you watch my videos, you've probably seen that. I should have my knife out, but I don't feel like digging for it in my tools over there. So I'll just use my pin tool to cut around it. What are you glazing today? What are you working on? How long have you done pottery? Does anyone else in here also do pottery? Do hand build, throw? Okay, so it's cut out, but it's a little too thick still to be on here. So I just go in with my tool. Just kind of go in a circular motion. It does stick, and I'm trying not to bend it, but it's probably going to get a little bent. That's okay. That's kind of why I put it, go in a circle. There we go. And I just slide it off there. And then I use my scratch tool. I have listed, because I'm an Amazon associate, so I earn from qualifying purchases. I do have like my favorite tools listed in my Amazon store, so you could just go to any of the links. Actually, I don't think you could get to there from the YouTube one, but on my TikTok, it's not hard to find. You just go to my website, but I also have an Amazon store, and you can find my favorite tools. I probably should put my link tree in my YouTube page. I should probably list that. I have some other links there to my website and to my Etsy, but I probably need to put the whole link tree, because then it takes you to the Amazon store. But if you click on any of my videos, I pretty much always list the tools that I'm using, and you could find it that way as well. If you're ever interested in something that I'm using. Then I just kind of wet this, make it stick. Since the clay is already, fairly hydrated, there's no need to use any slip. So I just come in with my little flour. Kind of bend it and stick it around and just make sure that it's sealed. Yeah, I think that's going to be super cute when it dries. Okay, I'll take it. All right, so today we made 2 spoons. Yesterday I made 2 that are fairly dry. These have a rose emblem on them. I made like a little tiny espresso spoon. And then we did these 2. Did a smaller one here. I didn't put an emblem on this one, just leave it plain. And then we did the sunflower one that you just saw. Are you doing plates for a shop? 10 years selling for 3 years. Oh, so you've been hobby 10 years selling for 3 years. You kind of wish that you started selling sooner, or you weren't ready? You sell on Etsy, or you have your own website? It's gonna come up clean. I see some of my nail marks in here. It's the worst. Not really. I mean, it's easily clean it up easy. I don't mean the worst. What I mean is that I always do it. I should just trim my nails. I never learned my lesson. Just did it again. Kidding me? I need to go clip my nails. But I should put a hole in this one. I'm going to cut off the top a little just because it's a little uneven here at the top. So do that, and then put a little hole in the top. Always get that piece that's stuck in the hole. When it's dry, then it crumbles into the clay. Oh, thank you. It is. We even share this space out here because over there you can't see. I finally got him to get like a little shed, like a little outside shed that put all our junk in over there. And then he has this huge smoker over in that corner. So I take this corner, and then this is where I work. Usually when I throw, well, lately, yeah, when I throw, I kind of use this corner. I move the table out of the way because it's just prettier over here. It's more calming, and get the plants in there and make it look pretty. I do like working outside though. Although in the summer, it's killer, so hot. Today's nice. I don't even have the fan on, and it's just, it gets a little noisy when the air conditioner comes on, but it's what happens when you work outside and it's your studio. Like all the loud cars, trucks, construction, whatever, I hear it all. Helicopters. We are at 2 shops and do vendor events. I've never done vendor events. I just always I don't want to sign up. I don't want to pay. Too lazy to leave the house. I've thought about it, but I'm just like, ugh. And that's why it's still a hobby. I mean, I treat it like a small business, like tax wise. I have a banking account for it. It's all separate from my personal, so I do treat it like a business, but it's more of a loss. I'm more. I mean, I'm in the black, but um, when you take into consideration like your, I don't have overhead, but um, firing the kiln, all your tools, your clay, like all the extras, yeah, it doesn't come out to, not in the red, that's good, but I'm just not really making a huge profit. And then, yes, I pay and file my taxes. And if you have your own website, you have to collect and remit sales tax. And I didn't understand how to do that for the longest time, so I just stayed on Etsy. I'm still on Etsy. So I keep both my website and my Etsy. But I had no clue how to collect and remit sales tax. I didn't understand it, but mostly it's just for like the state that you're in, unless you're working out of state in other states. But technically, you're supposed to apply to collect and remit sales tax. So I do those quarterly, but because I think I've only ever made 2 complete sales on my own website, and they were both out of state, so there was no sales tax. So when I go to do my, when I go to file my state sales tax, it's just usually always 0. So one of these days I'm going to be like, I'm either going to have to call or get an accountant. And that's like that poopy side of this, right? That side. Like balancing the checkbook. The ins, keeping track of the ins and the outs. Okay, so I got my little hole in there. Just come in and clean it up a little. Or let it dry and then clean it up a little, I guess. It always like kind of makes like a little indentation somewhere in it, but just come in and clean that up. All right, I'm being like way too crazy about that. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this here to dry. I think I'm gonna end the live for today. I'm probably going to like grab something to eat quick, a little refresh, charge my phone, and then I'm probably gonna go live over on TikTok. So you could find me on TikTok at same Vanilla Vine Pottery. Hope to see you guys there. If not, no biggie. I hope you all have a great day and enjoy. I don't even know how to. Oh, okay, I see the X. I'm like, I've never ended a live on here. And I can't do it from here because I'm on my other account. So I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for interacting. It was great to speak with you all. Okay. You're welcome. All right. I hope to see you soon. See you next time. Bye, Mom. Love you if you're still here. Bye, Mom.